Hello, cuties. If anybody out there lurking, I hope you're all having a wonderful Monday evening. I even put Monday in the title and I don't remember what day it is. Moltres Tuesday, Taco Moltres. Hi, Soda. How are you doing today? But yeah, last stream we actually caught Zapdos and Articuno, and we've got all badges except the last one. But I threw like 25 Ultra Balls at Moltres and they didn't want to be caught yesterday. So, and I was like super tired when I ended the stream. Well, not yesterday, it was like fucking Thursday. I spent all day playing Mina the Hollower. Hell yeah. I also got Mina. I haven't played like... I don't know, I've probably played like 5 or 6 hours, but I don't feel like I've actually done anything except like grind up bones. What platform did you get it on? I ended up getting it on PS5 because I had some extra money in my PlayStation account. So I really only ended up spending like $10 for it. I'm going to hold out for getting it on Switch until I have a, oh shit. Until they have a physical version. Wait, Propel, stop. Okay. Got it on Switch on the upgrade for Switch 2. Nice. How dare you, first of all. No, you must become EB. Fuck! Of course, both my sleep users are weak against fire. Come on, Zinx, give them a little kiss. I actually meant to start with Zinx, because Jinx is like super freaking fast. But I think when I saved, I didn't have, I still had Rhyhorn in the front. Spice Bird, hi Maddie. How are you doing today on this lovely Monday evening, even though I was just talking to you like 10 seconds ago? We're throwing balls at this bird. Come on, Moltres, please. Please, don't you want to get in the ball for me? Well, you're not going to be happy with me, so I'll say I'm good. Why would I not be happy with you? Motivated to get into writing? Hell yeah. No reason? Uh-oh. A good fun fact I learned on Twitter. What is this fun fact? Shit, I deleted Quick Attack. Okay, Pokeball time. Damn it. multi... Oh, sorry. Muretit stream dorifuto! Hi, Rain. How are you doing on this lovely Monday evening when I wasn't just talking to you like 5 minutes ago? Well, someone who quit writing for 20 years, gets back to writing, starts a somewhat successful light novel before he quits his office job to go full-time. Too many losing heroines. Okay. It's never too late. It is literally never too late to do that thing. Whether it's writing, drawing, anything. It's like, you're always at the right time in your life. Right now is always the right time. Even when you're trapped in the vortex. I'm in a very gay month in my life. That's every month. Started watching anime. It's entertaining. Cool. Cool. I was kind of talking to Kubi with this a little bit on like Blue Sky the other day, but it is really hard to like start an anime or something. 60 stream streak. Holy shit. Thank you so much, Maddie. Oh my gosh. 60 streams. That's like literally 2 straight months of watching me be gay. I mean, and that's more than 2 months because I only stream like, you know, 3-ish days a week. But I mean, that's literally 3 months worth of days watching my stream. That is crazy. That is amazing. Thank you so much, Maddie. I don't know why, but I wasn't able to start watching Witch Hat Atelier, despite being incredibly excited for it to come out. No, it's so weird, because, like, the only anime I've been able to motivate myself to sit down and watch recently has been the Trigun reboot. You know, Stargaze and everything. And, like... And I am 100% sure that is only because it's Trigun. There's a specific excuse I could blame on that. Yeah, and a specific executive. Dyslexia. Oh my gosh, this fucking Moltres. I should have known, like, I had it too easy with Articuno and Zapdos. I should have known. I should have known better with a bird like you. Binged all of Lycoris Recoil this morning after the stream. You did where I stayed up this whole time. The morning after the stream. And you're rating Silphco? Fucking spicy Borb. I have heard a lot of good about Lycoris Recoil. I should probably watch it. Let's fucking go! Well, shit, I titled the stream Moltres Monday. Now I don't know what to do. Well, thanks for dropping by, guys. It's been a good stream. No, I'm just kidding. One of the legendary bird Pokemon. Those seeing it are overwhelmed by its orange wings that seem to be on fire. Go watch the show. Solid 10-minute stream, everyone. See you later. No, the other 3 hours are going to be me trying to think of a name for Moltres, because I already used Fireball. You know, like in reference to the whiskey. Concession stand hot chocolate. Fireballs. No, I heard of it just because Hideo Kojima loves it. I mean, there's got to be at least one other, like, cinnamon or spicy drink of some sort, right? Horchata? I'll take it. We have caught the spicy bird. Can't dig? Come on. You can dig through a mountain. I did not mean to turn Propel into like an HM machine. It just kind of happened. Well, I guess Dig's not really an HM. Like, if I ever click on a Pokemon and, like, more than 2 moves come up on its little screen there, I always feel guilty about it. The Holler is so pocket-sized, it's fun to explore. No, it's really fun. Besides, she's such a relatable character. Mouse girl, doesn't wear pants, loves a good bone. I will probably end up streaming it in the future. It's just that, like, I want my first playthrough to be for me. That's how I am with a lot of games, though. Okay, we caught Spicy Burb. Now we don't need to touch the Sevi Islands until after the Elite Four. I'm 3 dungeons and bosses are fun and creative. Not sure how vague I should be based. Yeah, that's fine. Still be vague, because like I said, I haven't gotten super deep into it yet. I've spent a lot of time playing it, but I barely done anything. What weapons did you guys start with? I started with the Dread Mace. Though I didn't end up saving a bunch of bones and buying the twin daggers at the blacksmith anyway. How a few years ago, a friend tried to ride ROM hacking Fire and Leaf Grid, did fun skins for Route 1. Cool. Went with the Castlevania whip. Guardian Gym Leader returned! Yeah, shit, let's do it. Let's take the last gem.
Yo, champ in making! Even I don't know the Viridian Gym Leader's identity. But one thing's certain, this will be the toughest of all the Gym Leaders. Also, I heard the trainers here like Ground-type Pokemon.
So it's gonna be more Psychics?
Your Pokemon will cower at the crack of my whip.
Oh, look, he's got a little lollipop. Tamer Cole. That is not a ground type. I don't know why it's like very deeply ingrained in my head that the first trainer in this gym has an Arbok. I've always remembered that for whatever reason. See, I am so tired, I almost skipped out on the stream today, but I need to unruin my freaking sleep schedule. Because, like, yesterday, I ended up taking a nap at, like, freaking 5:30 in the afternoon or something and getting up at, like, 10. And, like, I missed Seventh Force's entire stream yesterday. I was so mad about that. And then, like, I was up until, like, 4 a.m. when I had to be up for work at, like, 7:30. Oh, hi, Seventh. I summoned you into existence. How are you doing today on this lovely Monday evening? And yeah, I just feel sad about it because, like, I enjoy being at your streams. Do not pursue my propel. My sleep schedule's a mess. I'm getting out of late between 3 and 7 p.m. Yeah. I don't think mine's a depression thing, really. Which, like, I've definitely been there before, and I very much understand. Ouch, whiplash! But, I don't think it's a depression thing. I think just... I was having insomnia really bad for a while there, and it just threw me into freaking chaos. Wait, I was just careless. Full heal. Take a sippy. Wait, Propel, don't eat the whole can. It's like in Tomodachi Life, where, like, when you give one of the Miis food, they just eat the entire plate and everything.
Karate is the ultimate form of martial arts.
I feel like there's at least one black belt Kyo in almost all of at least the classic Pokemon games. Need to free gamble.
Let's go gambling!
Sleep is for the weak, and I am very, very weak. Hey, I mean, like, I'm glad I'm sleeping again. I know I should have probably tried to force myself to stay awake some of those nights and stuff, but, like... honestly, at the time, I was just so desperate for sleep, like, I'm just... if I was gonna start falling asleep, I just kind of wanted to roll with it. That's kind of, like, part of this reason I try to push myself to stream, even though I'm, like, super not awake right now. Is because, like, if I can stream at least 2 hours, it'll be, like, 10 o'clock for me. So I can stay up to, like, 10:30 or 11 and then go to sleep.
Yeah!
Maybe I can unruin myself.
If my Pokemon were as good at karate as I.
Don't I have, like... yeah, okay, there it is. Some watered-down Red Bull.
Viridian Gym was closed for a long time, but now our leader's back.
Cool Chania Samuel. But yeah, 7th, I did see the post where you actually finished the whole Gym Leader Castle, which that's awesome. I'll probably go watch the VOD tonight or tomorrow. Because it's only like a 2-hour stream from what I saw on there. I looked at it when I was on my break at work. Let's go, Propel!
Slash that sand. You know, random thing with Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee, even though they only have the 151 Pokemon from the original games and, well, 10, I do like that you can get the Alolan forms in the Let's Go games, which is really cool because that means you can have, like, dark types on your team because you can get, like, Alolan Meowth and Alolan Raticate and stuff. 2 separate streams I restarted at one point. Okay. I mean, you have to have some technical difficulties in there, right? I half-jokingly feel like Twitch, like, gets mad at you for not streaming for a while, and it'll just give you a bunch of technical difficulties if you come back after taking a break. Probably not, but that's what it feels like. To avoid technical... Ah, I gotcha. I know I have this weird thing. I don't know if it's just my computer or OBS or what, but if I leave my computer in sleep mode instead of turning it all the way off, it'll have a really hard time staying connected. Like, OBS will have a really hard time staying connected to Twitch. Setups audio desyncs with OBS when you switch consoles sometimes. Oh. Hey, are you using a FrameMeister? I've been meaning to ask, but it's just one of those things I never remember to. Because I've actually been thinking about getting an open source scan converter at some point. That way I can just play my cartridges and stuff directly. RetroTink 4K. Okay. I feel like you've mentioned it at least once, but I forgot. No, Propel! Ah! Oh, wait. We livin'. Ha! Get propelled.
I was beaten?
SSC is pretty good. Yeah, I've seen a lot of stuff on OSSC. I think I saw a lot of stuff about it on a My Life in Gaming video, and it looked kind of like what I would really want. Also, I guess if we were playing Stadium with Propels, I'd be like, hung on by the skin of its teeth! Even though Rhyhorn has neither skin nor teeth, from what I can tell. I know I could just walk out and go to the Pokemon Center, but I kind of like doing all the gyms in one. Besides, I was, for most of my gaming life, especially with Pokemon, I've been a chronic a million billion item hoarder. And I'd end the game with, like, fucking 15 antidotes or whatever that I found in Viridian Forest at the start. Well, damn, I really could have just walked out. Oh, well, we'll do these guys, then we'll go heal. And probably go buy some more full heals and stuff. You must be running out of Steam by now. Actually, no, I've still got a lot of backlog on Steam. Granted, I only really started PC gaming recently. So, like, I don't have as much Steam backlog as a lot of people do. Back from gambling, got the character I wanted first pull. Hell yeah. We love to see it when you not only get the character you want, but for free. Oh yeah, guys, speaking of Steam, real quick, I just wanted to throw it out there. The 2D action platformer Gravity Circuit is literally free on Steam. Its sequel just got announced. It's like a pixel game, so you don't need a powerful computer to run it, so it's going to be free until, I think, the 14th of June.
So if you don't already have Gravity Circuit, or I mean, heck, if you do, but it's not on Steam, just go get it. Yeah, it's like a 2D action platformer thing. It looks really cool from trailers. I think it was actually on my wish list already, so... Cool trainer Yuji. Man, I love clicking Razor Leaf. The heads up, yeah. Well, I mean, a friend of mine actually messaged me on Discord about it earlier today, so that's how I knew. And added to the Steam collection, hell yeah. Granted, I know I haven't really played much of them on stream besides Mega Man, but I very deeply love, like, 2D action platform games and stuff. Like, platformers are, like, tied for my second love after RPGs. The other one tied for second place is classic fighting games. But, I don't think I've ever been accused of being good at a fighting game at any point in my life. Like, I'm very much at the state where, like, I could totally hose somebody who's super new to a fighting game I've played a lot, but I would not even belong in the same zip code as somebody who's actually, like, good at one. Now, the best compliment I ever got is when a fairly good Marvel vs. Capcom 3 player, and keep in mind, this is back before Ultimate came out, so this is like way back in 2011, told me that, because like the team I was maining, I just showed up one day at a random tournament that happened to be nearby. Well, near where my mom worked, anyway. And I was using, like, I think Zero, Amaterasu, and Dante. And literally I was the only person in the room who could pronounce Amaterasu's name, so everyone else there just called her Dog. And I was told, and I quote, that I've got the best dog game they've ever seen. And when I got matched with the person in the tournament who said that, he snapped out my Amaterasu and immediately took her out as fast as possible. Like, spent like 3 bars of meter trying to get rid of her. Yeah, I wasn't exactly great at playing Dante then, though, because I couldn't really chain the moves together as good as I wanted to. But I had also, like, I had labbed the game mostly on 360, because that's the physical copy I still have. And the tournament was all on PS3, so I'm sitting here trying to get all this to work on a PlayStation D-pad that I wasn't used to using for that game.
You need power to keep up with the gym leader. I'm working myself into a rage!
Against the machine? Atsushi! Oh, we got Yuji Horii last time, and now we got Atsushi Inaba. All the classic gaming legends are showing up. Also, it should be noted, 7th at the time, I did not know about any of Zero's cheese strats. You know, like the soul body and then just snapping your opponent away forever. So I wasn't playing Zero to do any of that. Honestly, I was just playing Zero because it was Mega Man rep. PS3 was the worst of the two to play most multi-plat fighting games on. Yeah, I did kind of notice that back in the day, almost everything, when there was tournaments, almost every other tournament was running the Xbox versions back then. Other day, I made a bookmark for Mother's Day. I'm happy with how it turned out. Awesome.
I'm still not worthy.
Okay. Well, since we're right here, I'm going to go ahead and heal up all the cuties, and I think I'm probably going to sneak over to Fuchsia and grab some full heals. Because if I don't do it when I'm remembering, then I won't remember. Just seriously outside of that for 2 weeks, it's okay. Even if days go by without drawing or anything, that's still fine. It's not a job. And besides, it is important to take breaks and stuff so you don't burn yourself out. Even if it's something you really enjoy doing, it's still important to take breaks. Shit, I forgot we used that many Ultra Balls. So I think I have some nuggets in my inventory I can sell off. Aw, yeah. Still gonna hang on to the big pearl for no actual real reason. I don't know why, but with stuff like the Stardust and the big pearl and stuff, I like to hold on to exactly one. It's just kind of one of those things I've always done, so I just kind of do that. Twitter suspended my sub accounts, and it'd be like, dude, honestly, I only log into Twitter because there's like 2 or 3 friends I have that just will not leave the website. And then, like, to tweet out my stream. Other than that, I just do everything on Blue Sky now. Even though Blue Sky's moderation team is trying really hard to fuck it up also. Got no clue what happened. Yeah, and most of my mutuals I cared about are still on there. Yeah. But no, like, a lot of people are just getting, like, suspended and shit for no reason on Twitter lately. Like, people who don't even do anything, don't post any NSFW. I mean, granted, the accounts posting literal porn and shit are just fine. It's just the regular, normal humans getting snapped. Thanks, Twitter, for flashing me Nessa and Nami Opie. Pokemon and I, we make wonderful music together. That doesn't look like a musical instrument, Jason. Jason. Rhyhorn fight! Mine's cooler, though. Looking respectfully. Smashes your rock, Ulil. Well, it did not smash as hard as I wanted it to. Completely random thing, but I had a waist-high shelf. It's one of those shelves with like the big, perfectly square cubes and stuff. And I've been working on cleaning it off. You're in perfect harmony. And so I've just got this big empty space on top of the shelf right now. And so Dot has just made it her little spot. And you see, it's perfect for her because, like, where the shelf is, when I walk in from the hallway, it's, like, right there. And it's right perfectly where if I go by her, my hand is, like, just able to pet her. Do you know the identity of our gym leader? Is it,
Cheeseburger? Lucas Newmeyer the third? The truly talented win with style. Cool trainer Warren. Talent is a myth. Bonerang. I know I've mentioned this on Steam before, but I still can't help but like laugh at my kid self reading the name Bone Meringue. And being like, that's really awkward sounding. Why don't they just call it Bonerang? That flows out way better. It's like, oh no. Though I do think it's kind of neat that Marrow from Marvel vs. Capcom 2 also has Bone Meringue. I don't think it's intentionally a Pokemon reference, but I just thought it was neat. I mean, granted, this is 2000, but I don't think they would have had the English name for Bone Meringue on their mind. Well, I don't know. Let's see. What's Bone Meringue's Japanese name? Let's look it up on Bulbapedia. Probably just coincidence. I mean, yeah, like, you're throwing a bone that comes back to you. There aren't a whole lot of names you're going to roll with. Like I said, I'm 99% sure it would be coincidence. I just think it's kind of funny. Now I'm just curious if it's actually called Boomerang in Japanese, because I know there are a surprising amount of... Pokemon moves that have like English. Okay, it's called Bone Boomerang. Like in English, it's called Bone Boomerang in Japanese. Making me wonder if it was just called Bone Meringue in English for text space limitations. Kind of like how Thunder Punch was all one word. Do I Zinx it? Now let's get Propel in there instead. Oh, we got that Poison Resist. Do not double kick. That's forbidden. Oh, yeah, I'm glad I didn't switch Jinx in if you're going to bite. Practice the Opie drawing skills. You got this, Soda. I believe in you. May the power of Big and Bouncy be with you. Speaking of, I'm sure some of you have, but like that just made me think about Nidoqueen's animation in the Japanese version of the Stadium games, where she just like adjusts her chest like it's a bra. I lost my grip. The leader will scold me for losing this way. The exact same thought. Have a little soda pop. And let's go ahead and give you the full heal. Because, like, I used to, like, never want to buy items from shops, never want to spend my in-game currency, never want to use any of my items. And you know what actually ended up, like, completely changing my mind with all of this? Believe it or not, was picking back up my childhood save file of Breath of Fire 3. Because, well, the currency for Breath of Fire is Zenny. But the basic-ass healing herbs in that game are only 10 Zenny. And they don't heal a huge amount, but they're okay. They'll get you up till, like,
early to mid game, right? But it's pretty easy to get money in Breath of Fire 3. Stepped away for a good bit, but I'm back. Welcome back, Maddie. Did you get yourself a food? But yeah, like, it's really easy to get money in Breath of Fire 3, and I was kind of, like, getting irritated because I would keep running out of, like, MP or whatever, trying to heal up everybody if I did too many fights in a row, and I'm just like, okay, I can get plenty of money in this game easy, why don't I just buy the max amount of healing herbs? And from that point on, I just always kept 99 healing herbs in my bag, and whenever I went to a shop, I just max them out, because then outside of battle, I could just spam a bunch of healing herbs till everybody's okay, and I'm like, well, wait, the game gives me the tools to get all this stuff. Why am I just making things harder for myself for no reason? I am the Karate King. Your fate rests with me. Fun random fact, the black belts are actually called Karate Kings in the Japanese version. Takashi. Sorf. Very moist machoke. You know, I am quite happy that this team turned out to have a really good balance of, like, solid and bulky with fast attackers. Got mac and cheese. Some family stuff happening, not involving you, but I was caught up in that too. Yeah. Got too close to the blast zone. Also, guys, is my audio for everything for the game and for me okay and all that? I forgot to ask at the beginning of the stream. I apologize. All good? Okay, sweet. Yeah.
The Pokemon League? You? Don't get cocky.
Wow, rude. Spinning. You spin me right round, baby, right round. You know, that's one wonderful quality of life thing. In red, blue, and yellow, the spinning on these tiles is really freaking slow. They just launch you at maximum velocity in Fire Red and Leaf Green. Baby right round like a record, baby right round, round. Oh my gosh. The gym leader is Kazuma Kiryu from the hit game series Like a Dragon.
Welcome to my hideout. It shall be so until I can restore Team Rocket to its former glory. But you have found me again, so be it. This time, I'm not holding back. Once more, you shall face Giovanni, the greatest trainer.
Another really cool fact, Giovanni has the same voice actor as Bakura from Yu-Gi-Oh! And he is one of the few voice actors who, after the series went from being mostly dubbed by 4Kids to being dubbed by, I think, Taj Productions, most of the voice actors did get recast. But Giovanni, the narrator, and Gary all kept their original voice actors. Granted, Gary hardly ever appears after, like, the first two arcs. Hideout, and it's at the very end of one singular hallway in a public building. Something hiding in plain sight? Doug Trio. Oh man, I think these guys like digging. Oh shit, I forgot Doug Trio very fast. Ha. That's right, his levels are in the 40s. I'm so used to yellow where Giovanni's like pushing into level 60 over here. We like digging. Also, yellow will jump scare you because, like, in red and blue, every enemy trainer's Pokemon will either have its most recent 4 moves it could have learned on its move list, or 3 of its most recent moves plus one of the gym leaders' TMs, which is usually only their ace. But in yellow, they'll actually have, like, real move sets. Because I remember distinctly as a kid... Okay, the Hollow Art. Hi, Cole. How are you doing today on this lovely Monday evening? It also presumably says you're in the building on a sign in front of that building. But yeah, I distinctly remember sending out a water Pokemon against Giovanni's Nidoking in a playthrough of Yellow when I was a kid, and it using Thunderbolt. Or Nidoqueen, not Nidoking. And I was just like, huh? Of course, with the Nidos and Rhydon and Kangaskhan being Kaiju-inspired is why they can learn all these different elemental attacks. I am sorry for the dinging. Let's get V8 out of there. How are you? I am very tired and stuff like that, and I am trying to unruin my sleeping pattern. I'm making myself stream tired because I was really close to laying down at like fucking 7:30 at night, and that's a mistake. Hi, Simone, playing VTube Studio. She's probably streaming right now, too. How dare you try and sleep? Oh, that's right, I forgot in every game from, like, Yellow onward, Giovanni's ace is replaced instead of a Rhydon, it's another Rhyhorn for some reason. Falsely myself, no, you have to stay awake. That's how you wake up at 3:30 a.m. confused on what day it is. That's what happens. Several times. Ha! It is truly an intense fight. You have won. As proof, here's the Earth Badge. But I got work tomorrow. Skill issue.
The Earth Badge makes Pokemon of any level obey without question. It's evidence of your mastery as a Pokemon trainer. With it, you can challenge the Pokemon League. Also, take this TM. Consider it a gift for your Pokemon League challenge.
TM26.
TM26 contains Earthquake. It's a powerful attack that causes a massive tremor. I made it when I ran the gym here, far too long ago.
What is it about Isekai that led to them being fucking everywhere? 3 layers to that, actually. It is a cheat code for writing fantasy world building. Okay, Rain, I won't stop you, but I will make you have a very nice, comfy, relaxing sleep and wake up feeling refreshed tomorrow.
I'm making fucking mac and cheese and no one can stop me.
Well, that's what Maddie did. Maddie braved having to actually interact with their family to get that mac and cheese. They are unstoppable. But, no, okay, Soda. The thing is, Isekai are a, like, 3-directional cheat code to making a fantasy story without having to problem solve some of the storytelling. First of all, Isekais work really well because if you're taking somebody from modern day, they're relatable to us already because they have the same problems we do. And a lot of people do want to escape their everyday life, especially in Japan, and a lot more outside of Japan now, too. But also, when you're taking somebody from one setting and putting them into a new one, then they have to explain to that person the rules of the universe, the rules of that setting, and everything else. So that's already a quick cheat code to get everything explained without it sounding awkward or having as-you-know dialogue. And as-you-know dialogue, if you're starting sentences with as-you-know, you should rewrite from the beginning.
and redo the dialogue because you're not delivering the world building very well. So it basically skips the issue of having to try to work around as you know dialogue. It has a character that's got the same perspective and freshness on the world as the audience. Secondly, a lot of times the character that's inserted here will be way overpowered. They'll be outside of the context of everything going around them, so they don't have any allegiances. So it already has like a fantasy fulfillment of not only being unique and separate from conflicting factions, but also of being like super overpowered. So you've got the fantasy fulfillment that comes with a lot of shonen. And then on top of that, generally it's really easy to write a lot of love interests in this fantasy setting because you can make them tall or short or elves or orcs or whatever you want to. So it's just a really easy way to take pre-made ingredients and have a fantasy story where you don't have to solve a lot of storytelling problems that come with making a fantasy world.
Having lost faith in this fashion, I can't face my followers. I have betrayed their trust. As of today, Team Rocket is finished forever. As for myself, I shall dedicate my life to training again. Let us meet again someday. Farewell.
And if you go stand where he once stood, and I'm gonna go into my bag, get my idiom finder. The item finder is shaking wildly. There's an item buried underfoot. One macho brace. I guess he took it off when he left. But yeah, the macho brace will reduce a Pokemon's speed, but double its EV gains for every Pokemon that it knocks out. As you know, fantasy settings are cool. You for the explanation, Mouse. You're welcome.
Blow me away! Giovanni was the gym leader of Viridian?
I want to see if it actually says it on the sign out there. Viridian City Pokemon Gym. Leader Giovanni. LOL. You know, okay, I guess spoilers for the Pokemon anime, but it really irritates me that there was never any kind of final showdown between Ash and Giovanni. Can't believe they let Al Capone lead the local orphanage. Like, Al Capone just with a pet rhinoceros and kaiju monsters and a whack-a-mole. Sorry, I had to sneeze. It is pretty funny to me that half my team had, like, super effective advantages on ground. Hey, wait, I actually made a team with only 2 ground weaknesses. I actually don't have too much weakness overlap. Hell yeah. I always end up making a team that's either half weak against ice or half weak against ground, even though half my team is weak against ice. There's Propel and Macchiato and Red Bull, but shh. I mean, who hasn't had a countrywide criminal running their local YMCA in their life, right? It's like normal, it's just a thing that happens. Viridian City, the eternally green paradise. No, this is Fire Red. Yep. If we look at our case here, we actually have all 8 badges. I've done 2 Pokemon trades with myself in my leaf green. Of course, if we go up here, we can actually fight Silvio again. But first, I want to go check on Professor Oak. I don't think he says anything special for getting the 8 badges, but I'll go look. The only 8 badges there are. It's funny they were already messing with that as early as like the Gen 1 anime when Gary just pulls open his case of badges and flashes like 10 badges and only like 6 of them are from the game. Just like people, Pokemon are living things. When they get tired, please give them a rest. I remember how Kojima used to submit novel chapters to magazines and hope they'd be adapted to movies. That is a very Kojima thing to do.
Good to see you. How's your Pokédex coming along? Here, let me take a look. The amount of progress you've made in your Pokédex is 137 Pokemon seen and 74 Pokemon owned. Very good. I think you'll collect even more by going fishing.
Cool. I'll be honest, being in Viridian this much again kind of makes me miss Crystal, because, you know, we do, like, the Battle House with Cal every day. But it's like, there's really not anything much left to do in Crystal aside from hunt down Entei and catch Ho-Oh after that, and, I gotta be, like, in a specific mindset if I want to try to hunt down Entei. Alright, let's go smack Sylvia around.
What? Mots? What a surprise to see you here. So you're gonna go to the Pokemon League. You collected all the badges too? That's cool. Then I'll whip you, Mots, as a warm-up for the Pokemon League. Come on! Come out!
Browsing Crunchyroll Twitter for no reason to remember that Hollow Live talents have sung anime openings and endings. That's not surprising. I'm from the future. Congrats on the shiny. Oh! Punch that bird! Ow! Sorry, I forget that Jinx is made out of wet paper when it comes to physical attacks. Hi, I'm also from the future. Hello, hi. It's a hard sound to make with your mouth, but please imagine the little future sign, like, reverberated shout from Sonic CD. Future. I have no idea how that came out over the mic. I'm so sorry. Quite a lot of Rhyhorns in this game. I'm not feeling very original anymore. I'm from the past. What the fuck is happening right now? Yeah. I mean, technically we're all from the past. I'm gonna take you back to the past. Bite those eggs. I'm still in a dream, egg biter. Bites your Alakazam, oh whoa. I've got a cute little Vaporeon and he likes to bite. How fucking dare you? Disable, it's just like Vaporeon just sitting there and just forgets how to bite something. It's like, just like staring into space with his mouth hanging half open. Honestly, that's kind of dot-coded. Whenever experiencing games or stories, I try to get one creative lesson. Lycoris Ritos helped me realize... Jesus, fuck! Soda. No need to write an Uchikoshi plot to be a good piece of media. Yeah, that's a hard thing for me to learn also. was that like I don't have to sit there and bend things like sideways. That what the fuck wasn't at you. That was at me turning away from the screen for 1 second and my Vaporeon getting completely hosed. But yeah, that was a hard thing for me to learn too, is that like you don't need everything to be super complicated and always have a big twist. You just need lovable characters and tight storytelling and to have fun writing. I mean, we propelled, smack him in his little face. Rude. The have fun writing part is often the hardest. It is. Because you just have to, like, get into the headspace of, like, whatever crazy thing you're a freak about, lean into it. Nobody looks up a movie or a TV show or a video game story because it's the most normal and digestible thing. Because, like, I still remember this one interview, not really interview thing. Well, I think it was part of an interview with Kojima when he was talking about writing the plot of Death Stranding 2. And he was really disappointing because it was testing really well and everyone who played it really liked it. And he's like, no. People aren't getting upset enough about this. People aren't getting shocked enough. If everybody likes it, then that means it's mainstream. That means it's normal and, like, it's not going to stick with anybody. Because, like, I don't know if you've ever seen the movie Turning Red, but you know that thing where she's, like, drawing the picture of, like, herself shipped with her character or whatever, and she's like, oh, hoo-hoo, that look. You need to write stuff that gives you that look on your face. It doesn't have to necessarily be something sexy or anything like that, but, I mean, it can be anything, you know, if you really want to get nitty-gritty about gameplay mechanics of trading card games from the 90s, and that makes you go like, aw, yeah, then do that. Poor little Raichu, he got so concerned about the future, he passed out. Seen Turning Red, but you know the scene because it's been memed. I actually haven't watched the whole movie. My mom had it in her Blu-ray collection, so I need to sit down and watch it sometime. It was pretty great. My mom really enjoyed it. It's just one of those things where, like, ADHD makes it very hard for me to watch movies, or at least it used to. I just kind of, like, have to make myself, like, sit down, because, like, one of my secret hacks is I will put my phone where I can see it, but where I can't reach it. Like, I have to physically get up to get it, usually plugged in somewhere. Because then, not only I have to inconvenience myself by getting up, but I also will have it plugged in, so I'm like, well, I need to let it charge. So I'll have, like, the 2 layers of not messing with my phone, and that's usually a pretty good starting point to get me to actually watch something. What? I was just careless. You... That loosened me up. I'm ready for the Pokemon League. Mott, you need more practice. Didn't I just beat your ass? Hey, you know what? I'm out of here. Smell ya. I'll smell you. Just... Well, okay, let's go back to the Pokemon Center real quick. We may have incurred a tiny little ouchie. Watching Make Ine, fun fact, I mentioned about leaving work to write it, was very fun because I know the author's 50 and now successful, and my mom's in her early 50s, and like, wow, there are cool and based 50-year-olds. What if my mom wrote that?
Well, you don't have to watch Turning Red, but like you've probably at least seen the memes of her like drawing and her twisting her face and that ooh. I mean, if you look up a Turning Red meme or GIF, that's probably like the first thing you're gonna get. So, Pokemon League front gate. You see, it's interesting with these. They're kind of the nondescript generic Pokemon statues. Like in Red and Blue. But the nondescript Pokemon statues in the Pokemon Mansion actually got turned into Mewtwo statues, which I think is an interesting choice.
Oh, that's the Boulder Badge. Go right on ahead.
Yes, I'm adding words because I'm tired and reading is hard when you're dyslexic. Indigo Plateau, the ultimate goal of trainers, Pokemon League headquarters.
You can pass through only if you have the Cascade Badge. Oh, that's the Cascade Badge. Okay then, please, go right ahead. You can pass only if you have the Thunder Badge. Oh, that is the Thunder Badge. Okay then, please, go right ahead.
Pass only if you have the Rainbow Badge. Oh, that is the Rainbow Badge. Of course I have the Rainbow Badge. It's June. Moisture. Ooh, hey, let's add a last-minute Psyduck to our team before we take on the Elite Four. No, I'm just kidding. Kinda.
You can pass through only if you have the Soul Badge. Oh, that is the Soul Badge. Okay then, please, go right ahead.
I feel bad for this poor guy. I mean, like, his socks have got to be soaked. That is, like, miserable. Imagine, like, you come into work that day to do guard stuff, and they're like, yeah, you're going to be the Soul Badge gate. And they're like, I don't know, maybe he has some rain boots. Fun fact, I have custom Van shoes with NB Pride colors. Awesome! Wait, if I ever see a big mass of land here, like, I have that. I was right. I didn't bear down here. A max ether. Anything else? Okay. Imagine you beat the Pokemon League or you beat all the gyms and you got here and then you lost to like a random wild Psyduck. Your Pokemon career is over.
You can pass only if you have the Marsh Badge. Oh, that is the Marsh Badge. Okay then, please, go right ahead.
You know, I always do wonder with, like, the grass over here, if anybody actually saw, like, a Fearow or a Sandslash or something in this grass and like, oh, wait, shit, I'm going to add that to my team, and actually, like, grabbed a Pokemon at the Pokemon League that they helped, like, beat the Elite Four with. Probably not, but I think that'd be neat. Berry? Asper. Asper cures freeze, right? Yep, okay. I guess that could be useful for Lorelei?
You can pass only if you have the Volcano Badge. Oh, that is the Volcano Badge. Okay then, please, go right ahead.
I mean, millions of people played this game, some more than once. It had to have happened a few times. I think that'd be fun, though. I mean, I guess in a Nuzlocke, it would be very possible. A full restore, hidden full restore on the rocks, baby. You
can pass only if you have the Earth badge. Oh, that is the Earth badge. Okay, then please, go right ahead.
Actually, sort of like how they changed how champions worked in Scarlet and Violet, the whole champion being a trainer rank. Always wondered what happened in canon if you lose to a random kid because X reason. Yeah, I like that too. Ow! I'm okay. I accidentally hit my desk table. No, that actually wasn't Dot. That was all me. She even, like, looked up slightly from her little nap she's taking on the, shelf over there. Like, that wasn't me. No, I knocked it down and it landed on my toe. I'm okay, but now my toe has an ouchie. Actually, like, I wonder if it'd be a fun little challenge thing, to, like, see if you could beat the Elite Four with just Pokemon you find, like, in the Indigo Plateau area. A Needy Streamer Overdose was a Western title. I mean, there's a lot of stuff like that, like Doki Doki Literature Club was a Western-developed game, too. Actually, Japanese didn't know it had an anime. I actually heard of it through the anime. I didn't know it had a game until later. I'm something of a needy streamer myself, actually. I need you guys to have a wonderful day and enjoy watching the stream. I hope you do. I'm with Nocia. I have it on Switch. I hope to play it before watching the anime. In Onyx. Okay, the palette of that button feels very, like, Wii coded. Honestly, like, I have a lot of issues with the PS3 and 360 era, but I feel like the three main consoles had really cool stuff going on with their color palettes. Like, they had, like, very comfy color palettes, because, like, I love, you know, the Wii kind of had, like, the white with light blue and gray. And the Xbox 360 had, like, the white with the different tones of green. My favorite Xbox 360 boxes are the ones where the banner has, like, the green swoosh going in, like, with, like, this gradient of green going across it. And the PS3 kind of had, like, the black kind of sleek thing going on, with kind of, like, a bit of a silver trim. I wonder if you're good enough for me. If you're coming into a relationship with that attitude, I feel like it's destined to fail, Naomi. Hey, I have Naomi on my Animal Crossing island. She's a cow there, though. Poison. Breaking your brick. Seltzer does not need lower defense. Hey! Granted, like, it's also super satisfying from, like, the launch of the Switch onward, like, Nintendo's red, PlayStation's blue, and Xbox's green. I also think that is very fun. I just really like video games, you guys. Don't know anything about Attack on Titan. I saw a reel the other day sharing the obvious fact that not all mangaka are good artists right away. Well, hi, Ty Hypewave. Thank you so much for the follow. Me on Discord so I can watch. I just met you. I'm sorry, but I usually only really add people on like Discord or other socials if they're friends I've known for a little while. But I still appreciate you dropping by and everything. Whoa, video game. But yeah, Attack on Titan, like, you don't have to be the best artist to write a really good series. By the way, the Nintendo logo has a red background. It's interesting because a lot of older stuff in Japan specifically, Nintendo had like blue as their main logo color, but it's been red in like internationally since like the NES. Oh, is he running Rock Blast Dig Vulpix? I'm gonna imprison all my moves. Sorry, I had to check something real quick there. Dang, one rock. Yep. Okay, everybody grab your favorite sugar-free, caffeine-free beverage choice. I got my water cup right here. Take a nice big sippy. Okay. And for my spicy hot take today, I was actually thinking about one at work because I knew you'd redeem at least one today. The first two Bubsy games, actually pretty alright. They're like solid 7s out of 10. If you like platformers from the 16-bit era, they're worth playing. Am I that predictable? I wouldn't say you're predictable per se, but I've known you on and off for like a decade. And besides, calling it spicy might as well just be dangling an extra version of the carrot in front of you. But yeah, Bubsy games, the first two, pretty good, worth playing. I think the games get an unfair reputation because platformers with fun, cool mascots fell out of fashion really, really hard. And outside of Sonic, Bubsy just became the punching bag for that kind of game because even though, like I said, the first two games are pretty good and worth playing, they're not as good as something like Sonic or Mario. But there's definitely a lot of love poured into the game. If you ever see the story of how Bubsy was created, it's actually really sweet. But yeah, like Bubsy just became a popular punching bag because unlike Sonic that people are deeply attached to, very few people are probably going to come to bat for Bubsy, so he just became an easy target, and over time, everybody just kind of calmly accepted that, oh yeah, all of Bubsy's games are really bad. When, honestly, Bubsy 3D is probably the only one that's actually, like, bad. But even then, Bubsy 3D is a lot more forgivable when you realize the story of it, because it was originally supposed to come out in, like, 1995 for the 32X. And when you take into account that this was going to be a 3D platformer that released before Super Mario 64. But the thing is, like, it just fell into development hell and ended up, you know, once again, because, you know, they kind of had to port everything over to the PS1, and it was going to get a Saturn port, but that got canceled. But yeah, they had to move everything from the 32X to the PS1, and so it got delayed and didn't come out till after stuff like Crash Bandicoot and Mario 64 and Tomb Raider. So it looked so out of date because everything was moving so fast that even being delayed by a year back then could make your game look ancient. Because I feel like that also bled into, like, the difference in perception of, like, Sonic Adventure on Dreamcast in 1999 versus Sonic Adventure DX on, like, GameCube. Sonic Adventure DX, despite only being, like, 3-4 years later, I think, was rated way lower despite being the same game because everything was moving so fast back then. I lost out. We're reminded of Ty the Tasmanian Tiger, another series of games that's also pretty good. But I don't really have much experience with Ty, because I played the first two Bubsy games growing up, and I actually did go back to them, because fun fact, the original Bubsy is on Switch Online on Super NES. It's worth checking out. The game does have a whole lot of charm. It's got, like, fun secrets, big levels you can explore. I would say the biggest issue with the Bubsy games... well, like, the first two Bubsy games is the camera is zoomed in way too far. And that takes some getting used to. Bubsy 3Ds, yeah, the game actually has a really high internal resolution, which is really crazy, but, you know, once again, all these teams were taking shots in the dark, trying to figure out, like, how to do a 3D game and everything. I never wanted to lose to anybody, especially a younger kid. I'm in my 30s, but okay. I guess that's what you get for having a baby face. The dude. I should get Seltzer out of the front. See, a part of me wants to put, like, Venusaur in the front, but then I know 500 Golbats will descend upon me. I don't even think Golbat's in this cave, but I'm sure they'll find a way. Okay, now with this, you actually have to go boop, boop. Because you can only get one of these items at a time. Oop, wrong button. Having a baby face is pretty much the reason I keep facial hair. Dragon Claw. So we're just gonna pop out of here, and then go back in and get the other item, because I cannot let any items go, because I'm just like this. I'm so sorry. Because, yeah, that big, this pillar right here, well, I guess not pillar, just a rocky outcropping, when you press the button, that goes away. Which is really weird to think about. I guess Victory Road just has a spring-loaded rocky outcropping, question mark. Though, granted, those are, like, 2 panels in red, blue, and yellow. So how I always envisioned it back then was, like, you know, they kind of had panels and stuff to test to make sure that trainers could get through there, you know, get to the button and everything. And then, you know, like, the panels would just, like, have little spots where they'll, like, go and just, like, descend down into the ground or something. I'm making the motion with my hands and realize that none of you can see it. If I can ever afford to get myself like a full 3D model with like hand tracking, you guys are getting so many hand movements. There's the Zubats, I fucking knew it. I did not see a single Zubat while I had Raichu in the lead. Actually, I probably did. Anyone watching the VOD can go fact check. I just wasn't paying attention because, you know, click Thunderbolt. You know, while I'm usually pretty good at remembering what moves changed with the physical special split, the one that always gets me whenever I play any of the games after Gen 4 is that Razor Leaf is a physical attack now. Also, really fun thing, because I don't know if any of you guys follow Boundary Break. I do like his stuff where he takes the camera, but I think my favorite series of his is Region Break, where he talks about regional differences between games. Because he yesterday released an episode talking about a lot of the regional differences with Gold Silver versus like the Japanese versus international versions. Which, like, there's a lot of really cool stuff. Gold and Silver probably have the most regional changes between games. But one that I thought was really funny, considering that I made the joke about if Guile were a Pokemon, he would start with Sonic Boom. The Japanese version of Gold and Silver, the animation for Sonic Boom actually has, like, the two swooshes that spin in a circle like that. Because the in the international versions of Gold and Silver outside Japan, Sonic Boom just looks like Twister and Gust and stuff like that. But the fact that it actually looks like, you know, the Magnemites launching little Sonic Booms actually made me laugh. So a part of me is really glad that, you know, huge sweeping regional changes aren't much of a thing in games anymore. And I always love when, like, retro collections, like the Mega Man collections or whatever, will let you just go choose which region you want to set your game to. It's actually really neat because, like with the Castlevania Anniversary Collection, fun fact, the difficulty for Castlevania 3 was heavily modified for the international releases. So it's actually much more difficult in the back half of the game. So you do have the option to play the Japanese Castlevania 3 and have the more balanced difficulty in the Castlevania Anniversary Collection, which I think is cool. I think one of the Genesis collections does something similar with Streets of Rage, because Streets of Rage 3 was also a victim of rental market tweaking, where the back half of that game is also made... Well, I think the whole game is just a lot harder. But a weird thing with Streets of Rage 3, it's like, I get them, even though I don't agree with it, I get them making it harder because of rental stuff. But a weird thing is, like, almost every returning character has their palette changed. Because in Streets of Rage 3, like, you know, Axel has his standard, you know, white shirt and jeans. But he's got, like, I think yellow and shirt and black pants in the international version for reasons. These days, if Ace Attorney were released, it'd be so different. I don't know. Okay, the thing with Ace Attorney and the reason why the name changes and stuff don't necessarily bother me with that one is because I think with Ace Attorney, and to a lesser extent like Detective Conan, there are a lot of... You're meeting a lot of new characters. Like, every arc has a whole new cast, aside from, like, you know, the handful of main, like, lawyers and stuff. And I can definitely say that, like, you know... having a normal native English speaker or just non-Japanese speaker have to memorize like 7 or 8 Japanese names and try to keep them all straight would definitely be really difficult. And in addition, a lot of the puns would be completely lost. Like hell, a lot of super obvious puns with like shonen stuff gets lost. Like Naruto, for example, those are those little fish cakes with the spirals in them. They're literally just called Naruto. They come in like ramen and stuff. That's part of the reason he loves ramen so much. And Uzumaki is the Japanese word for spiral. So his name is literally like Spiral Fish Cake, because remember the surname would be first in Japanese. Conan in French wasn't localized with the name, so yeah. Okay, now I go sleep. Okay, good night, Rain. You have a wonderful sleep. Thank you so much for coming by and hanging out and everything. Good nighty night. But, yeah, it's interesting because, like, for the original English version, Case Closed, the one that released in, like, the 2000s, they did change a bunch of the character names and localize them and stuff. But they're actually making a new English dub of Detective Conan, just called Detective Conan, that has the Japanese names. So it's kind of getting like the One Piece treatment where it's just getting a whole new English dub. So I'll be a little sad that Shinichi Kudo won't sound like Android 17 anymore. Nintendo Music has a web player now? Awesome! Nintendo listens a lot more than people think they do. Especially post-Nintendo Switch. I mean, hey, random thing. I guess this is a bonus hot take you guys get. But as much as people like to dog on modern gaming, and yeah, there is a lot of stuff that sucks. One of the absolute wonderful best things I love about modern gaming is every console just being completely region-free. I've predicted Nintendo Music for years. I mean, Nintendo games do have music. I can see you're good. Let me see exactly how. Good. I can read. Cool trainer Rolando. I can read. I believe I can read. 3DS being region locked was stupid. Actually, I think the 3DS is literally the only handheld to ever be region locked, if I recall correctly. Because I know Game Boy Lynx and Game Gear were all region-free. I know the Neo Geo Pocket Color is. Wonder Swan really wouldn't matter because it only ever released in Japan. Of course, the original DS is region-free. So is the PSP and Vita. And yeah, GBA was too, obviously. But a handheld being region-locked is like peak stupidity because, like, if you're going to go outside the country, you're probably going to have a handheld, right? That's the idea. So it would, like, absolutely suck to get somewhere with your 3DS and be like, oh, dang, this game I found in Europe looks sick as hell, and it has English on it. I'm going to buy it. Oh, you can't play it. I mean, it's also interesting that, like, I feel like PlayStation was definitely ahead of the curve on that, because of all the PlayStation consoles, only 2 have ever been region-locked, which are the PS1 and PS2. Older Nintendo consoles are in a weird place, because, like, between North America and Japan, technically the games aren't region locked, but the region locked quotation mark is just the physical structure of the cartridges for the NES, Super Nintendo, and N64. I think the only other one's region locked is the Nomad, but yeah, that's kind of like a fringe case. N64 is funny because the cartridges are almost identical. The only difference is like the way the tabs line up on the back. So if you have a safety bit, you can just take the back off of, or the front off of another N64 cartridge and put it on the one you want to play. The Chizard. I may have made a mistake. Don't use flamethrower again. Fuck. Oh, I think Propel not being evolved is starting to actually be a little bit of an issue. Oh yeah, I guess random fun me fact. I have exactly one Super Famicom game, which is a complete in-box copy of the first Star Ocean. I had a chance. I concede you are better than I. It's crazy because I actually got it from a, well, I say local, it's like 2 hours away from my house, but game store on clearance for $30, just Japanese manual, everything. Because I was actually picking out some other stuff that I was like kind of into. I'm like, yeah, sure, why not? Like maybe about $15 worth of sure, why not games, and I put them all back. I'm like, no, I'm getting that Star Ocean. It's 3:30. You should definitely go to sleep, Soda. I love you being here, but get some sleep. Good night, Soda. You get some good rest, okay? Gamers. I'm gonna double check Cerebi real quick. I am pretty sure that Rhyhorn learns Earthquake at 52. And yes, I know I could use the TM. I don't want to use the TM. Not when it learns it on its own. Gosh, I have like 7 Cerebi tabs open. I'm so sorry. Phone. So yeah, Earthquake at 52. Because I think if I evolve it into Rhydon, it doesn't get Earthquake until 57 or 50, yeah? Yeah, 58. That's really only 6 levels, though. Because I kind of want to be around 55 or so to take on the Elite Four anyway.
Okay, I have played like over 700 or 800 hours of Fire Red and Leaf Green in my life. I never knew you could scroll over to this and just cancel out like that from the map. I never even paid attention to this existing. Learned that years ago, but accidentally. Fuck it, grinding time. Thankfully, Fire Red and Leaf Green are like some of the easiest games to like do grinding in because you can just rematch every trainer in the game almost. It's actually one of the few games where you can grind for money at your own pace. Hi, Dot. You decide to get off your shelf perch and come perch over here instead. Bleary-eyed little bite. You literally woke up over here to come cause problems, huh? Yeah. Oop, wait, teehee, that was the item finder. Freaking, she had butted my mic, of course. Ugh. Turned off the freaking thing and muted me in mid-sentence. Like, comment, and subscribe if you like digging. You don't actually have to getting all 8 badges. I was kind of expecting a few of the trainers on here to be a little bit higher level. Dato gotta have her snugglies. Meow, 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 meow. That's right, they're talking about you, Dot. Your little meow, meow, meow. Yeah, Les Andrea is talking about you. Your little kitty butt. Yeah, get parried. So she keeps reaching at me and I'm like having to block her. Okay, the reason why I'm blocking her when she reaches at me is because she will stretch all the way forward and like fall forward. Most cats are graceful animals, but this one, I'm not convinced. Meow.
You may look silly standing here like this, but I can still battle. Trying to think to myself where's a place to like rematch high-level trainers. I don't really want to fight the same schmoes in Victory Road over and over. I don't know, I like being free in the open air. I think I'm just too Pokemon Crystal pilled. I like running around everywhere. Even though I know a lot of people complain about it, I actually do like the that the match call feature was brought back in Emerald. It's weird though, because if you ever play like Emerald and Ruby or Sapphire back to back, Dot, why are you climbing my microphone? What are you doing, girl? Ow. If you ever play Emerald with Ruby and Sapphire back to back, you realize how like weirdly tall and thin Ruby and Sapphire's font is. Also, this is a totally minor thing, but am I the only one who just really loves the way that fonts look on the DS and PSP? Emerald using it for gym leader rematches is great, despite them taking a long-ass time to actually initiate, yeah. Because, I mean, like, I'm always torn. I think the match call adds so much personality, having the trainers, like, call and talk to you about their day and stuff. But, like, on the other hand, like, the Versus Seeker is so nice because you can kind of do it on your own terms. I love them jumping out of sync. That's cute. Our twin power became even better. Big fan of DS fonts, yes. Like, okay, here's something I was thinking about, and I feel like you mentioned something to this effect on one of your streams a while ago, 7th. But, like, I feel like one of the reasons why a lot of people who are, like, you know, in their 20s and older feel like they kind of miss handheld gaming, even though obviously stuff like, you know, ROG Allies and the Steam Deck and the Switch and Switch 2 are all very easily available. Well, okay, I don't know about easily in the case of the Steam Deck anymore, but, you know, it's like there are plenty of ways to play handheld, and in a certain way, handheld gaming's quotation marks better than it's ever been, because it's like they finally reached the long-term goal of handheld gaming, which has for a very long time been to provide, you know, current-gen gaming on the go. But I think what we lost by finally achieving that was something that, like, okay, the original Game Boy's lifespan was absurdly long. Especially if you do what Nintendo does with a lot of their numbers and stuff and counts the Game Boy Color as a part of the original Game Boy. I'm kind of 50-50 on that, since the Game Boy Color has, like, a lot of its own original games. But we used our twin power. But, granted, the Game Boy Color also had a really short lifespan, but if you count it as its own system. But there were basically still 8-bit games being made well into the early 2000s. But with the side effect of that, even though the Game Boy Advance is 32-bit hardware and is a lot more powerful than a Super NES or Genesis, Game Boy Advance still kept the feel of 16-bit gaming alive into the PS2 and GameCube and Xbox lifespan. Give me just a sec. Sorry, I had a sneeze there. So it's like you still kind of had new quotation marks like Super NES or Genesis style games, or in some cases TurboGrafx style games. And then like with the DS and to a certain extent the PSP as well, you kind of had like PS1, N64, and Dreamcast-y feeling games in like the Wii and PS3 360 era. And then it felt like, the 3DS really kind of kept the PS2 vibes alive into like the PS4, Xbox One, and Wii U. And like the Vita was kind of really honing in on what current consoles could do, but it couldn't quite get there. And it kind of lived in this weird middle space between like definitely being more powerful than something like a PS2, but not really being able to reach the PS3. PSP partially had PS1 hardware, yeah, because there were a lot of PS1 ports on PSP, which I think it's forgotten. There's like a lot of enhanced PSP games like Star Ocean 2, Valkyrie Profile. Popo Lacroix got its first international localization on PSP, but it actually is a pair of PS1 games. But they're kind of like a pair, from what I've seen, I may be wrong about this, but from what I've seen about Popo Lacroix, it's like they were a pair of PS1 games, but they link together kind of in a way similar to like the Digital Devil Saga games, where it really is like one game that's part 1 and part 2 of kind of a single game. But either way, like, yeah, Popo Lacroix was a PS1 game. And then you have like kind of stuff that's like super PS1 games, stuff like Lunar, Silver Star Harmony. I mean, heck, the Persona 1 and 2 finally got actual real international localizations. And, the fact that like a PSP had like hundreds of PlayStation 1 games you could literally download and play on the go in their like original emulated format, so. And yeah, that's the thing, is like now handheld gaming is just like the same game you're playing on a console, just, or, on your PC, just like, with lower resolution or, less refined textures or whatever. Which is great, because, like, I'm definitely not a resolution frame rate stickler. I mean, like, I'm more picky about consistent frame rates rather than them being a specific, like, I'm not one of those people who's going to have a meltdown if my game's not 120 FPS or something. Though it is really funny that like there have been a lot of people like doing old schooler stuff on YouTube that'll be all like, well, not just YouTube, there's been like other social media stuff too, where it's like, oh, back in the day we didn't care about resolution and frame rates, and I'm like, yes, people did. If you go look at magazines in the era, they will point out when stuff's 60 or 30 FPS. Even as far back as like PS1 and stuff, they'll point out slowdown, and hell, like, there are a bunch of N64 games that had higher resolution modes. Yeah, people absolutely did. I kind of want to grind, but I'm not really sure where to go, or if I should just try to run Victory Road. Because I feel like if I have to go out and heal after every other battle, then I'm not really ready, if that makes any sense. I wonder, can you use the Versus Seeker to rematch people in buildings? Okay, no, it won't let me use the Versus Seeker in a building, so you can only rematch people outside, I guess. Also a completely random thing, but like, it always gets me that like main Pokemon in the anime is Magmar, when he never uses a Magmar in any of the games except I think in Stadium, but I'm pretty sure it's only there in Stadium because it's in the anime. Granted, I think the anime writers just wanted something bipedal with fists that could have a cool fight with Charizard. Kitten, calm down. Please stop trying to climb me. I think I used the top of Cycling Road. That's probably a good idea. I just wanted to come in here to see if you could actually use the Versus Seeker in a building, because I don't think I've ever tried. Aside from trying it in gyms, but, like, I didn't expect it to work in there. Hey, Dim's playing Xenoblade 3. Hell yeah. I need to actually go back and finish 3. I don't want to get, like, too sad mode about it, but that was one of the last games me and Mom played together, and we never finished the final boss because we were trying to find all of the, like, recruitable heroes and stuff. Time to go be a true psychopath. And I will say my other reason, besides just wanting to grind, that I'm kind of dodging Victory Road right now is I'm tired, and this stream's probably going to be at most 3 hours, and I don't think I have the energy to do the whole dungeon. Dot, calm down. Calmeth thine hooters, girl. Okay, give me just a sec, you guys. I kind of have to use the bathroom real quick anyway. So I'm going to make sure Dot's got some food in her bowl and water and everything. I'll probably put some music on. I'll be back in just a noodle. I think I'll go ahead and run some ads, too. You guys make sure to get up, stretch, unshrimp yourself if you're in shrimp mode. You know who you are. I'll be back in just a couple minutes.
Hello. I have returned. The furball has fresh food and water. Don't let her tell you otherwise. Cycling road, that's why I'm in Celadon. Hi, Maddie. I should probably go ahead and turn off my music playlist.
Nice bike.
A lot of times when I'm playing like an RPG and I just want to grind by myself, I will just turn on like whatever music I want to listen to.
Knockout. KO.
Of course, none of these guys wanted to battle me today. Very rude of them, honestly. Actually, let's go through and make sure I've actually fought all these guys. It's really easy to miss trainers on Cycling Road. Because with Cycling Road, like, if you don't hold B, which is kind of like the brake button for your bike, you will just go careening down the hill with no input.
I need a little exercise.
Exercise your demons. Cue ball Jamal. Let's go ahead and put strength right there. Hello, Dot. Did you enjoy your little snacky snack? Level 26 Machamp. I think I can take it. I was thinking about like getting cross-chopped or something. I'm like, oh yeah, there's like a 20 level gap there. I should be fine. Kudos to Cue Ball Jamal for having somebody to trade with.
Phew, good workout.
I'm trying to talk to him, but... Ah! Come on. Come on.
Sure lost weight there.
Meow.
Nice bike. How's it handle?
Jackson. You know, these guys have pink mohawks in their sprite, but they just have, like, regular brown hair whenever you actually battle them. It's like Link in Legend of Zelda, the Link to the Past, where he just has, like, pink hair. I like pink hair Link, honestly. I feel like with older Zelda stuff, they, like, had it where Link didn't have to be blonde all the time. I have no problem with blonde Link. I'm just saying, like, it was cool, like, every Link kind of had their own vibe, I guess, their own look.
Shoot!
I am going to kind of favor Propel a little bit at the beginning here.
Slope makes it hard to steer.
Because I kind of really do want to go ahead and get him to level 52. And Dot is back on her perch. Oh, I didn't fight this guy.
Be a rebel!
Cue ball Corey. You know, honestly, I really like Annihilape as an addition to the Primeape evolutionary line. It's just like, it takes a little getting used to. Like, I have to remind myself that Annihilape exists because, like, unlike a lot of other Generation 1 Pokemon that got, like, evolutions in Gen 4 or something, there's, like, 26 years between Primeape and Annihilape. Lit.
Be ready to fight for your beliefs.
Just in time for Pride Month. Can I go ahead and fly from here? Go ahead and fly back to Celadon. And then see if the guy's at the top ready to fight again. Actually, you know, for Propel, I should probably go fight those bird keepers again and just rock blast them a billion times. The guys on the bike path will definitely be the right guys to fight when I want to train up Zinx, though. Okay, Dot is sitting on her little shelf spot, like, in the position to, like, lick and clean herself, and she keeps looking like she's dozing off. Me too, girly pop, me too. Dang, don't nobody want to fight with me today.
Is my bird call getting better?
One Dojo. But I'm guessing everybody who's still here is probably gaming or something. What are you guys working on? I saw Maddie was playing Tomodachi. Shit, I don't know if I remember to go get the night market before I started the stream.
Like to see Pokemon on weekends because the sea is so close.
I see. I kind of have a memory of fighting these guys a lot. Playing Cruisin' Exotica. Nice. I remember you mentioning that a couple days ago. I mean, obviously I wasn't there for the stream yesterday, but I think on the one last week you or the week before, you were at Combo Breaker last week. But like, yeah, kind of been in an arcade racer mood, or did you just suddenly be like, must play Cruisin' Exotica? I know, like sometimes I will get a sudden craving to play a specific game. Not a genre, but just like one specific game. So I think Exotica, is that... Because there's Cruisin' USA, Cruisin' World. I'm not super knowledgeable about the Cruisin' series. I do distinctly remember Cruisin' USA being really popular on N64 when it first came out. It's like, is Exotica also on N64, or is that for a later console? Strength. Exotica's the third one. Arcade, Wii, and... is that supposed to be WI5? Or is it Wii in N64? Oh, with an N64 port. Okay. Because granted, like, later in its life, it's really interesting because, this is a little off topic, and the reason why I thought it might have actually just gotten a Wii port is, late in the life when, like, Xbox was doing Kinect and PlayStation was trying to focus on PlayStation Move, the Wii just randomly became the place for, like, weird, cool, and niche hardcore game releases. Because I know there was, like... it had the really generic name of Ultimate Shooting Collection, but it had, like, a bunch of, like, really good shmups that never got North American releases before. I know specifically it had Radio Allergy on it, which is, like, a game I've wanted to play for a while. And there were also a lot of really cool, like, really well-done arcade ports of things that were, like, had never been released arcade perfect before. Because I know the Wii has a compilation disc that has, like, I think they're called, like, LA Machine Guns or something like that, and then there's, like, a New York one. It just randomly got a bunch of arcade ports. Not complaining, though, because, like I said, a lot of those games never had arcade perfect ports before. Gunblade New York and LA Machine Guns. Those are the name of the games, yes. Cruisin' feels like it's in this weird space because, like, even though it's not a Nintendo franchise, I'm pretty sure everything Cruisin' has always been Nintendo exclusive when it comes to home releases. It also, like, if I remember correctly, the Wii got a port of House of the Dead 2 and 3 with the really awkward title of The House of the Dead 2 and 3 Returns. Which, like, honestly, though, porting light gun arcade games to Wii is brilliant. Like, that's a match made in heaven. Okay, Nintendo actually does own the series. Okay, I did not know that. I figured they had some stake in it at some point, but I didn't know it was actually a first-party series. That's interesting. Also, speaking of weird publisher things, Acclaim is randomly back from the dead. Though I haven't looked into it, but if I had to guess, there probably isn't anybody who worked at original Acclaim. But I know that they are picked up to be the publisher for, I think it's called Kid Robo. It's this really cool Mega Man-esque game that has, like, a claymation art style. Stems back from the original deal from Cruisin' USA. That's really interesting. I think I'm too tired. I just flashed myself because I turned the flashlight on my phone to check the back of it. Ow. Cole's a flasher. You heard it here first, you guys. Last year and a streaker. I have a lot of streakers in this chat, and you won't catch me complaining. I mean, Atari's doing surprisingly decent work these days. The claim coming back isn't too duxed. I get it. It took me a second, but I get it. I mean, honestly, I know Acclaim has some nostalgic cachet. After all, they did publish, like, the Mortal Kombats and stuff back in the day. The only stream I could make that joke. You could probably make it in Rain's stream. But probably just the two of, like, me and Rain. That's about it.
Darn.
Darn you! Okay. Random thing that just made pop into my head. I'm sorry, you guys are... I'm tired and I have ADHD, so every single thought just spilling out of my mouth. But, with, like, the Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi games, like the first three, I always forget that those were released in, like, the era where Dragon Ball was still trying to be, like, Y7. At least with, like, the English dubs and stuff, because even though the games would still have, like, the blood and stuff, they would make sure they didn't curse at all in the dialogue. And I always think about, like, the Frieza Saga Super Saiyan Goku. You know, like, his finishing move is supposed to be, like, what he uses to finish off Frieza. You know, the, "You fool!" And then just, like, incinerates him with, like, the one-handed blast. And I can't help but think about, like, Sean Skimmel putting his entire self into a "Darn you!" and, like, making it sound really angry and really upset for that attack, like, shout. And no hate on Sean or anything like that, but it's so funny to me because, like, saying "darn" just completely mutes any idea of actually being, like, furious or upset. And it's so funny to me every time, because, like, a lot of the other voice acting, even though the games are, like, over 20 years old at this point, I think a lot of the voice acting for the Tenkaichi still holds up. Yeah, it's goofy in the best way. Like, it is the kind of goofy that only could have happened in that specific era. Because, you know, now, like, they have no problem cursing and stuff in Dragon Ball, because they know Dragon Ball's current audience is the same people watching it on Toonami mostly, who are in their 20s and 30s at this point, if not older. So, you know, they have no problem saying, you know, things like ass and damn and hell and stuff like that. Though, it's weird because I got so used to the older English dubs just with the games, and, you know, the fact that my mom and I watched all the way from classic Dragon Ball all the way up through the end of GT together. Because, like, I know everybody hates on them, but yeah, we got the blue and orange and green bricks or whatever. And they're definitely not the best way to watch Dragon Ball, but I was just so excited to have all of Dragon Ball on DVD and own it, and we could watch it together, and it was so fun. You know, I got so used to the English dub, you know, staying away from cursing, aside from maybe the occasional damn in the Ultimate Uncut Edition. That you watch through like that someday. It is so enjoyable. It is so fun to watch through, like, the beginning of Dragon Ball or Goku meeting Bulma all the way to the end of the fight with Kid Buu. And GT was actually surprisingly okay with Z fresh in your mind. Because GT's weird because, like, the plots and the fights are definitely very rushed and do not execute their ideas well. But GT has one thing in common with Super, is that they both do their slice of life characterization really well. Though I will say GT and Super weird me out because they both grossly misunderstand Goku as a character in completely opposite directions. I'm hopeful for Toyotaro, but I feel like Toriyama's the only person who understands Goku on enough of a nuanced level to write him properly. At least from what I've seen. Like I said, I have hope for Toyotaro. I feel like he's definitely improved a lot over the course of writing the Super manga. But no, like, I remember watching Super, because I originally watched Super in Japanese with subtitles, because that's what was available, and I wanted to watch all the episodes when they were new. But I did go back and watch a lot of it with the English dub, which they did a good job with. But hearing Vegeta's English dub Christopher Sabat voice, I think it's when in the fight with Frost in Super for the Universe 6 versus 7 tournament. That got a lot funnier with age. You know, where Frost says that the raid form is his final form, and Vegeta goes, "Final form my ass." And it's just like, hearing Christopher Sabat Vegeta say ass, like, jump scared me. Just after, you know, like, a decade plus of English Dragon Ball not really swearing. And like I said, maybe one damn slipping through. And they do say hell in the, from the Orange Brick onward, they do say hell. But, like, that's in reference to, like, they don't call it home for infinite losers anymore. I think I've watched much of Super dubbed. It's a really good dub. Actually, like, I'm interested what's happening with the Battle of the Gods remake. Because I'm like, are they redoing all of Super? Is it just Battle of the Gods? Is it going to have more changes? Are we going to have 4 different versions of the same story with different content without any indication of which one's the actual, like, official one? Because remember, there's the movie. Toyotaro did a manga adaptation of Battle of the Gods that is different. It's the first arc of the Super manga. Then we also have the Super version of Battle of Gods, and now we're having another version of Battle of Gods. I mean, I try not to be too hard of a stickler for canon. I used to be really bad about it. But, like, I try to be more relaxed and just enjoy whatever I'm engaging with for what it is. Which, like, you know, because a lot of people got really in a tizzy that some stuff in Daima seemed to contradict things in Super. And I'm like, okay, but the story is cool, so I'm not that worried about it. I usually watch most things dubs, absolutely watching Super's Japanese broadcast week to week. Never got around to circling back to the dub. That's kind of where I was. Like I said, I've watched a lot of stuff in the dub, but I haven't watched the whole thing yet. I might have a Super rewatch sometime. Maybe just like on a day when I just feel in the mood for that. Of course, I'm also kind of interested, like, the new stuff they're dropping for, like, Dragon Ball Super, the preview, definitely seems to be hinting at, like, they're doing an anime version of the Moro arc. But I'm hoping that
they changed some stuff because, like, I guess you guys get a manga hot take. I really did not like that arc very much. I know a lot of people did, and of the arcs in Super, it feels the most classically late DBZ era-esque. But a lot of, like, it's weird because with both Toyotaro and with GT, the big thing that both of them get right is Vegeta. Didn't keep up with the manga at all. I stopped keeping up with it after a while. Mostly because for some reason Toyotaro seems to fucking hate Krillin, and it really gets on my nerves. I know that's super petty. Space Prison, dude with horns, Frieza's black now, apparently. You see, he saw Goku do it, and now he just has to do it too. Frieza is a special little princess. Of course, I still think of the the Boo Bits shorts that TFS made for Totally Not Mark's reviews of the Boo Saga. Where, you know, like the meetup at End of Z, they're just discussing all the stuff that they did in Super. Like, wow, has it been 5 years? And I was like, no, it was like 2 months ago. We were just hanging out with the whole superhero thing. So what do you guys ever do about Black Frieza? And Goku's like, I don't know, we probably beat him. Because I think timeline-wise, Super is literally like the manga is like a month or so from the end of Z. Like in universe time. Which, like, I'm not super fond of the post time skip, like the last episode. Like, I love Oob. Oob is a really cool character. I want to see more stuff happen with Oob. But in general, like, I'm not a fan of that part. So if they just overwrite it and do something new. Though it should be noted that Neko Majin, which is a gag manga written by Toriyama, does have a story where Goku and everybody show up after the end of Z. And it actually has, like, Oob living with Goku and Chi-Chi and everybody. It even has, like, Pan in her, like, preteens, like, slightly older than she is in GT. And Oob's wearing, like, Goku's orange gi like style, so I thought that was really fun. Fine with End of Z being redone to account for Super. I know it'll piss people off. Like, I don't know, because I remember when that first aired, at least with people I knew, a lot of people were not super happy with the ending. Because, like, even though if you go by Neko Majin, which again was written by Toriyama, so that was like his vision of what he saw in his head for the end, you know, Goku wasn't gone that long. But a lot of people were upset that it was Goku leaves again was the ending. Or at least that's what it seemed like. Though Toriyama actually did revise the last few panels in the Tankobon release version of Dragon Ball. To kind of, like, be more of an ending, I guess. It's not a huge difference, but it added more dialogue and more implication that Goku just wasn't leaving forever. Though I will say, I feel like the reason why it feels like it just cuts off so suddenly, I feel like Toriyama was leaving it open enough, so if his editors said he absolutely cannot stop Dragon Ball yet, he probably had at least an arc or two in his back pocket. I feel like there's got to be a place with some slightly higher level trainers that I am completely not thinking of. Besides the ocean. Granted, a part of me would love to glimpse into the universe where either the editors pushed him or Toriyama just decided, actually, no, I want to keep writing Dragon Ball. I'd love to glimpse into that universe and see what else he might have written for the series back in the 90s. Though there is something really fun with what was happening with, like, Dragon Ball in the late 2010s and early 20s with Toriyama, like, adding Broly to his story and adding, like, a certain transformation in Daima. Daima's still kind of new, so I don't want to spoil it for anybody who might be listening. But, you know, it's, like, it's really fun to me that, like, you know, Toriyama being involved in outside ideas and thinking about, like, how they could be reimagined into the full story. Like, I will say, Broly is one of the best, like, character rescues of all time. Watch Daima, but I'm aware of the transformation. I do post these to YouTube and stuff, so in case anyone stumbles upon it, I don't want to be, like, the Daima spoiler. But I flipped out and fangirled like crazy when that specific moment happened. Really behind on DB in general. Don't worry too much about it. Like I said, I still have, as much of a Dragon Ball hyperfixation girly as I am, I still haven't read all of the manga for Super. Because like I said, a lot of little storytelling decisions rubbed me the wrong way.
My birds are shivering. Wait, aren't you that trainer?
I actually need to go back and rewatch Daima with the English dub because I only watched it in Japanese subtitles. You know, it still messes with me that stuff like Dragon Ball and Trigun doesn't get simuldubs, but then you have shit like I was reborn at level 999 as the demon goddess's tampon case with my smartphone has like a simuldub. Isekai number 42067. Almost there. We're almost at Earthquake. I will get everyone else caught up to level 52 also, but I really want Earthquake. King of Fighters reference? No, wait, that'd be Samurai Showdown. That's not real. That's just a ballpark randomly generated estimate, I promise. Though the fact that you had to think about whether or not it was a joke shows how bad it's gotten. You can finally take off that Everstone Propel. Kinja with a gloom. Oh shit. Time to get Propel out of there. Well, I don't know. It's like...
Legitimately wasn't sure it's okay. Also, I was thinking about like randomly with Mina the Hollower and stuff, which has been really fun. I've been kind of playing that in my downtime. It is crazy that we got 2 indie Game of the Year contenders 2 years back to back that launched at $20. Because that's one of the big things I feel like kind of got lost. Like I was talking about earlier with handhelds. Kind of just being the same as home consoles, just with lower specs on the go. One thing we really lost is really cool games launching at like $20 and $30. So it's actually really cool that, I guess, because I think Mina is the highest like Metacritic score game, which like, yeah, you can't put all your stock in Metacritic scores, but that's still pretty wild. That poor Pidgeotto, you blow out the rock type and you end up getting an electric type. No, it's not the highest rated ever. It's the highest rated game to come out this year. No, I'm pretty sure the highest rated ever still goes to Ocarina of Time. Hi, Whoopie. How are you doing today on this lovely Monday evening? We're grinding up our cuties for Victory Road. Sorry, I may have worded that really poorly. I apologize. Though the idea of funny Game Boy Color mouse game being the highest rated game ever does tickle me, but that's not the case. I think it's sitting at like a 93 or 94 right now. I still feel a little jumpy leaving Propellant against grass types, even though the level difference means it doesn't really matter that much. Isn't there someone else who wanted to fight over here? Was it you? Is it you? Is it me? Just say the word, and I'll eat some cheese. You don't actually have to say the word. I will just eat the cheese. Fell asleep during QV stream and woke up to a Chaos stream, living the Hannah Montana life. That randomly made me think about the fact that there's a Hannah Montana PSP, and it's like a really pretty shade of pink, and I kind of want one. I also want the Japanese Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII PSP, but I think that thing's like $500 to get it secondhand. Because if you put Cloud Strife on something, it's going to be expensive on the secondhand market. It's the same thing with, like, they have these Kingdom Hearts figures, and I have the Sora and Donald one. They're the ones that have, like, really cool statues where they're on, like, pieces of Traverse Town and stuff like that. And the first 4 were Sora, Donald, Goofy, and Cloud. The Cloud one was always sold out, and if you look online, it's like $30 or so for Sora, Donald, or Goofy, and the Cloud one's like $150. Still good. Hope it keeps Yacht Club afloat. No pun intended. It's still a pretty clean pun. You can intend it if you want to. I won't hold it against you. But, I know that Mina is currently the #1 on Switch and Switch 2 eShop right now. Which I think it's the first non-Nintendo Switch 2 game to be number 1 on the eShop. For Switch 2 specifically. Because I think people were worried about its performance on Steam not being super great, but, like, I feel like that is very much a game that's going to appeal to the Switch audience. It's me, I'm that audience. Birdkeeper Mitch, you're the reason for the word Mitch. I think I made that joke the first time I battled him before also. I'm so sorry, Mitch. I'm sorry to all the Mitches in the audience. You probably get enough bad jokes on your name already. Like, in general, I kind of... Unless it's a fictional character... But when I'm talking to real people, I really try hard not to make any jokes on anybody's, like, actual name. Because, you know, by the time you're out of high school, you have heard every single joke that your name, like, rhymes with or anything like that. Like, especially if your name is something like a real word like hope or destiny or something. And every single person who says a joke, which is the same joke, like one of the 2 or 3 jokes you always hear, they always think they are just the cleverest motherfucker alive. Like, I feel so bad for Jude Hexchew, who's also a streamer and VTuber, but her real name's Jude, and, like, people cannot physically stop themselves from saying "Hey Jude" or singing from the Beatles song, and it's just like she tries to have a good sense of humor about it, but she has just flat out said that, like, she just cannot help but roll her eyes. I think you should get $500 for each joke. Well, the thing is, like, self-doxing, I guess, but Micaiah is my real name. It does not rhyme with anything in English for the most part. So yeah, like 7th, same with your real name. Mine's so difficult to pronounce for most people that the pronunciation is really the thing. They don't even bother with a joke or something. And, like, 7th Freers, I think the only joke anybody would really be able to pull is, like, making a joke about you creating androids or something. But those people are probably going to be nerdy enough that they were already your friends anyway. Earthquake! Make that booty shake! Forgot dig and propel learned earthquake! Not good enough quite yet. The thing is, I hear anything about my name so rarely, and even if it is, it always ends up getting pronounced like Micaiah or something, for whatever other pronunciation. That when I do hear something sounds like my name, I almost get jump scared. But look at Propel, he's so handsome. Okay, let's get him out of the lead so we can start working on getting the rest of them caught up. But, because, you know, there was, like... I think someone, like, doing console modding or whatever was talking about a mod from somebody named, like, Matea or something, and I'm like, hey. It's just like my name is so rare and usually so infrequently pronounced correctly. Or well, I shouldn't say correctly, whatever, because, like, if somebody else has their name spelled the same but they pronounce it Micaiah, that's correct for them. It's just not for me. That's the thing with names, is they can be anything and they can really be pronounced any way. I love click and try attack. Because there actually is a YouTuber who has a YouTube channel called The Micaiah Show, but his name is spelled the same as my name.
Oh, bummer.
I think I'll go do a round of the biker guys by the bike route, and then we'll probably wrap it up there because I'm almost at 3 hours. I'm getting pretty hungry, and it's like 10:45, so hopefully by the time I eat dinner, check my Animal Crossing, and go lay down, I'll be super tired, and it'll be like 11:45 or midnight, and I will just be able to do a normal sleep. Just a normal little eep for the mouse, and not going to bed at fucking 5 in the afternoon and missing my friend's stream that I was really looking forward to. I'm not upset or anything, though. I'm also really looking forward to another one of Rain's streams because I need more Splunk Dinko in my life. It's funny because you can, like, put in whatever you want for someone to be, like, a celebrity in your Tomodachi Life island, and one of the celebrities I have on there is Splunk Dinko. It makes me happy. There'll be other streams, I know. And I know I can go watch the VOD, but, like, it's more that I could have been there because, like, I wasn't at work or anything. Like, I wouldn't be as upset if, like, you streamed while I was at work and I'm like, oh, darn it, I wish I wasn't at work right now. But, like, I had the day off yesterday, so I could have been there. And like I said, my stupid sleep schedule, instead of making myself stay up to fix my sleep schedule, I just gave in and laid down. So it's like it's the same feeling as, I think at least you'll probably specifically be able to relate to this. It's the same feeling of waking up at 11:45 on a Saturday and having slept through all your Saturday morning cartoons. That was the same feeling I had.
Come out and play, little mouse.
He knows. Also, a cute little thing I liked in Mina the Hollower is the bartender calling Mina Squeaks. That made me smile. Also, you see the real reason that Mina the Hollower is a Game of the Year contender? The PS5 version actually lets you remap confirm to the circle button, which I think is really interesting because I feel like not a lot of Western developed games think to do that. It did make me a little sad because at least I haven't played the full game because it's not out yet, but at least with the demo of Adventures of Elliot, it doesn't let you remap confirm to circle. It doesn't let you remap confirm or cancel at all. It lets you remap things for, like, gameplay purposes, but it doesn't let you remap, like, the menu buttons, which I found weird because almost all of Square's other games since the PS5 launch have actually let you remap the confirm and cancel buttons. Because, you know, in Visions of Mana you can do it, which everyone go play Visions of Mana. It's really damn good. But you can remap them in Visions of Mana, in Dragon Quest HD 2D. I know in Octopath Traveler 0.
Don't you dare laugh.
Which, like, that also just randomly made me think about, like, the weird release patterns of the Octopath series and kind of the Team Asano games in general. Because originally Octopath 1 was a Switch exclusive. Then it released on Stadia, PC, and then Xbox One. And Octopath 1 did not get a PlayStation release until after Octopath Traveler 2 came out. Because Octopath Traveler 2 launched for Switch, PS4, PS5, and PC. So even though Octopath 1 was on Xbox, Octopath 2 did not have an Xbox version when it originally came out. It did get one later, though. But then again, like I said, Square just has randomly been shadow dropping games that were only Switch, PlayStation, and PC on Xbox with, like, no fanfare.
Feeling hungry and mean.
Well, I'm not feeling mean, but I am pretty hungry myself. I mean, thankfully, that seems to be done with, because, like, Adventures of Elliot and Octopath Zero have all launched simultaneously across, like, Switch, Xbox, PlayStation, and PC. Ooh, Zink's level 47? Alright.
Bad, bad, bad.
Bad, 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 bad boys. Okay, we are, like, right at the 3-hour mark. They're better about it now. No, I'm definitely glad Square's been focusing on multi-platform. And like I said, I am glad that they've even been kind of trying to fix unexclusifying games, I guess. You know, like I said, they dropped, like, Legend of Mana, Trials of Mana, all the Pixel remasters onto Xbox. They put Octopath 2 on there, and Romancing Saga. Oh, right at 40 hours. Let's go. Romancing Saga 2 Remake got an Xbox version. The weirdest one they've done recently with Bravely Default HD Remaster was a Switch 2 exclusive, which got a PC port and a port to Xbox One and Xbox Series X. Which is weird because most of the other Square Enix stuff has just been Series X and S. It hasn't had an Xbox One version. Even with stuff like Legend of Mana or Trials of Mana or the Pixel remasters, which very definitely could run on Xbox One without any problems. Yeah, Bravely Default HD got ported to PC, Xbox One, and Xbox Series. It makes it even weirder because it's on the previous generation Xbox, but not the previous generation Switch, and it's not on PlayStation at all. Even weirder that, like, Switch is the only version you can go find at a retail store, but it doesn't even have, like, a real physical version because the Switch version's a game key card. Yeah, I'm hoping they port Bravely 2 over to other consoles as well, because right now it's only Switch and PC. Same with, like, Harvestella. Because I know with Live Alive HD 2D, that was Switch exclusive at launch, and the Switch version was actually published by Nintendo. Main reason I didn't buy... Yeah, like, honestly, if it doesn't have a true physical, I'll just wait for it to go on sale on, like, Steam or Xbox or something. I kind of really want to get it on Xbox One, because having a 3DS game on my Xbox One just tickles me exactly the right way.
The same way I love like having like Grandia and Final Fantasy VII on Switch. Playing my PS1 games on my Nintendo. My Nintendo port of a PS1 port of a Sega Saturn game. Probably look for it on Steam. It's gone on sale at least twice. Like, it's only $39.99, which is actually pretty awesome because that's the same price the 3DS version was when it came out. So you can't complain about a remaster launching at the exact same price. I'm secretly hoping it'll maybe get a secondary Switch 2 print run at some point. Or hell, maybe even a port to Switch 1. I mean, it's just a 3DS game. Physical FF7 copy on a Nintendo. Yeah, it didn't even have to be 1,200 cartridges. You're probably the only person who would even get what I'm referencing there. But yeah, like, I actually need to grab that physical 7 and 8 bundle on Switch sometime. Because it's not that expensive, and they actually do have a North American print of it. But no, like, I guess I'm admitting to being a criminal here, but I had, like, maybe a small handful of Game Boy and GBA games on my phone. And I'm like, why don't I just download a bunch of them? Because, like, hundreds upon hundreds of these games are not even going to equal a single gigabyte. And it's so weird to me that, you know, like, heck, with Fire Red and Leaf Green here, these games are megabytes in size, and you could play them for hundreds of hours. I mean, hell, you know, like, we've played almost 200 hours of Crystal on my streams, and that game is literally under 1 megabyte in size. That's so crazy. Because, like, I know with Mina the Hollower, I think, at least with the PS5 version, it was only, like, 800-something megabytes. Your stream didn't black out there, or your jump or anything. The Switch 2 just went into rest mode because I went so long without any inputs. So it is very funny to me that the highest-rated game of 2026 so far is under 1 gigabyte. Yeah, a PNG of those games could literally be bigger. No, because I remember that one meme that was like a deep-fried screenshot of the original Super Mario Brothers, and the text on it was, "This screenshot takes up more data than the full game of Super Mario Brothers." Because one thing I found interesting, because, you know, a lot of devs talked about leveraging the faster storage of the PS5 and Series X to reduce game file sizes. And even though you didn't see that a lot, I actually... I got Hollow Knight on PS4 eons ago. The first Hollow Knight. And the PS4 version, I think, is like 6 gigabytes or something. And I got a free PS5 upgrade, so I'm like, okay, sure, I'll go ahead and download it on a PS5 also. And heck, you know, when I go to play it, heck, I can get 2 sets of trophies, why not? The PS5 version's only like 1.5 gigabytes. Because a lot of file bloat is, aside from uncompressed 4K textures and stuff in a lot of games, a lot of file bloat is repeated assets to reduce load times. You know, like, because a lot of times you'll have, like, doubles, triples, quadruples of character models, of textures, of voice clips and stuff in each map or area, so it doesn't have to go all the way through and you don't get, like, PS1-ass load times. So, you know, doubles, triples, quadruples of everything is what makes file bloat such an issue. And I know people like to meme on Call of Duty games, but with all the maps and all the different instances and stuff that in both campaign and multiplayer it has, having a copy of every possible weapon, item, you know, so on and so on and so on, is really what ends up ballooning these games to like 300 gigabytes and shit. Plus, you know, you combine that with the fact that, you know, you have like 4K texture updates and all that stuff. Because these games have a high budget and they usually are pushing, you know, the technical edge. Like, I don't care for the games, but I understand why they end up this way. And a lot of times the games are developed with such fast turnarounds that it's not like the devs can sit there and optimize the files. So it is really cool that like Hollow Knight got optimized for the PS5 storage, and the game is like a third of the file size. Because I know they did something like that with Helldivers 2, which was like, I think it was 100 something gigabytes, and they got it down to like 30 just by being able to optimize it. Because with the faster SSD, you don't have to worry about doing so many repeats. I need to give it another run through. I played a little bit of it on PS4, but I got so distracted by other things. I did like what I played. But like, I like having it, like I have the PS5 version now, which is really fun. Like I said, kudos to any game that gives you free next-gen upgrades. Or like with Trails in the Sky, where the Switch 2 upgrade was $1. I'm like, I think I can fit that in my budget. But yeah, like, they're actually doing physicals. They're doing a new physical run of Hollow Knight for Switch. There's a Switch and Switch 2 cartridge that has both versions, and a PS5 physical. And they're doing a physical print run of Silk Song. Both of these physical print runs are $40, I think. Probably one of the big acclaimed games that you just couldn't click with. That's okay. Like, you always run into a few. It might be worth giving another try. There are some games where I didn't click with them, but when I was more experienced with their genre or whatever and came back, I ended up enjoying them a lot more. I actually had that with Super Metroid a little bit, where like I just couldn't get it to grab me for some reason. But after beating Metroid Zero Mission and playing a lot of Fusion, when I came back to Super Metroid, I kind of got it, quotation marks, and it clicked with me a bit better. Actually, like, for example, getting really good at Xenoblade 2's combat helped me be better at Xenoblade 1. So I ended up enjoying Xenoblade 1 a lot more after beating 2. Yeah, you can always give it the free upgrade, and hey, you know, like, but no, the cool thing with Silk Song is it's also getting the physical Switch 1 and 2 combo cartridge, a PS5 physical, and Silk Song is actually getting an Xbox physical. Well, don't worry about it, 7th. I'm about to end the stream anyway. I just got into yapping because that's what I do. But to wrap up what I was saying, like, Silk Song's getting an Xbox physical. That's really exciting, and it plays on Xbox One and Series. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and call it a night. Thank you so much, everybody, for stopping by, for hanging out with me. Let's see, is anybody alive? Do I even have the energy to raid anybody right now? I will double check just in case. Nah, okay. I'm going to go ahead and sign off. You guys have a wonderful night. Thank you so much, everybody, for hanging out with me. Bye.